Hey guys, welcome back to Building Blocks of Business, a podcast show where we dive in and explore various aspects of the business world. This show is brought to you by ESL and NITK, and I'm your host Shashank Sengat, a BTech student at NITK. Today, you're listening to the second episode of Season 3, LinkedIn Top Voices, a season which introduces you to the entrepreneurs who have not only built successful startups but also created magic with their words and wisdom. In today's conversation, I have a very special guest with me. He is the co founder and marketing head of Bullstick Media, which is an innovative digital marketing agency with clients across four continents. He was also nominated as India's Top Voices 2021, the digital marketing king, Jaison Thomas. Hello, Jaison. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
For having me, Shashank. Would love to have a really good conversation.
Yeah, likewise. It's a great pleasure having you on the show. So we'll just take right into the podcast then. For this is my first question. From an engineering student to the co-founder of Bullstick Media, what changed? Where did this idea of business derive from? Could you please tell us more about that?
If to answer that, I have to go a bit more back to my 12th standard or first year of engineering. That's when me and my brother actually started a meme page called Dude, in which we created a meme character and started posting a lot of funny stuff. And in 3 or 2 years' time, it exploded and became one of the biggest meme pages in India with 4.4 million followers. And then Facebook's organic reach started going down. So then we decided that, hey, we need to have our own audience. And due to that, we launched our own app, which we wanted to act as an extension to our community that we had in our Facebook page. The app's name was Dude App, and it got 50,000 downloads in the first month itself, and was featured in many leading PR outlets, and was also selected for Facebook's FP Start program. But after that, after maybe a couple of months, we were struggling to keep the back end of the app stable. We didn't have much knowledge in terms of that. We tried changing developers, but we couldn't, unfortunately, afford that anymore. So we had to shut down that app. And then also some policy changes happened, and Facebook, we couldn't earn from Facebook anymore, and our income source kind of collapsed from our Facebook page also. But after that, then we thought that, okay, we have hands-on experience in digital marketing. Almost all the parts of digital marketing we have done, and we have an experience of 4 to 5 years. So, and it was like just starting. The era of digital marketing just started back in 2014-15 time. We decided that, okay, we have to share this information knowledge to students and entrepreneurs, and for that we started a workshop called Swipe Up workshop. And luckily, one of the sponsors of our first ever workshop wanted to have a digital marketing agency like us working for them. That's when we decided that, hey, agency could be a really good thing that we can try out, and that's how Blue Stick Media as an agency was born, right? And from there we did a lot of result oriented campaign and scaled to right now we are a team of 32 members, and worked with 75 plus clients, etc. So it started even before college, and I kind of managed it in my college days also. And right now, it's been about 3 years. I'm out of college and still running the same.
You founded Blue Streak Media when you were a third year CSE student, right? And what was that experience like? How did you manage both of your work as well as, college life? And did that ever make you think about dropping out of college or something? Could you please share your experience about that?
Uh, the thing is that I wasn't a solo entrepreneur. I had my brother also supporting me. We were co-founders, and I also had one another co-founder with me. So they were kind of doing it full time, and I was doing my part of the contribution to the business um, uh, while I was in college. So it's the entire stress of running a business didn't come just solely to me. I had people to do certain responsibilities, right? But since till I had to manage time, right? From 9 to 4 I had to do my college, and after that there was an entrepreneurship cell in my college, and they provided Wi-Fi and all the spaces, really good workspace, stuff like that. So I used to go there, and I also hired one of my friends who was a graphic designer, and he also used to accompany me to there, my office, my small office there, and we used to sit till maybe 7 8 p.m in the night, and finish off the day's work. And that's how I managed to do college and entrepreneurship together. I never even thought for a second to drop out, because I thought that college is always really important, because it's not just about the syllabus, it's not about learning stuff, but what college has taught me is that how to network with people, how do humans behave, right? While I was staying in my college hostel, and um, going for trips with my friends, I was understanding, right? Okay, these are the things that actually excites people. These are the conversations that happen between individuals. These are the things that you shouldn't do, right? These are the things that you should do. All those things, right? Human to human thing. When I was in my hostel, I really understood that, when to say something, when not to say something, those kind of stuff. So I thought that that was really crucial, really needed for any entrepreneur. And the second one was to manage your set a goal and how to achieve that. And I wanted to pass all my exams, so I had to do that. I started studying. I don't care much about studies during the entire sem, and at the end of, maybe when the exam comes, maybe 3 days before or 4 days before, I have to plan it. Right, I have five subjects. I'll say that, okay, for this subject I'll study this much modules in this much time. I have to finish that. Everything will be correctly planned, and I'll try to finish. I have to finish it. So goal setting, this might be funny, but I haven't even opened the book the entire sem, but I have to finish it off. With I have to construct an entire timeline to finish it off, and to study from the net, to research from the internet, to do YouTube, stuff like that, and learn and stuff. So that's how I passed my exams. Um, and the third thing is money management. Also depending upon yourself, right? When you're in college, you have very limited amount of money with you, and so how not to spend, how to what to buy, all those stuff. So I think college is very important.
So yeah, you mentioned that one of the first clients that you had was one of your sponsors from the Dude app. How was it feeling like to get your first sponsor, to get your first client, and how was the whole experience? Did you have to try hard to convince them to jump on board the digital marketing thing, or was it an easy thing? Could you please talk more about?
Not the sponsor of Doodap, it was the sponsor of our workshop called Swipe Up. Right. And so actually we were going, we needed X amount of money to conduct that workshop. Uh, we had about 4 days till we raised that money. Right. And what we decided that I'm living in a city called Kottayam in Kerala. So what we decided that, okay, let's go to every shop out there, or every organization out there, and ask for sponsorship, pitch this uh, workshop, and ask for money. First day we went to about 20 to 30 organizations. All of them rejected. Second day, the same, all of them rejected. Third day, uh, second day end, we got connected with this client, and they agreed to do that. Third day we got another two more sponsors, right? So if we had quit on the first and second day, we wouldn't be able to conduct their workshop or anything like that. And fortunately, after this workshop, the client called us. We actually didn't plan to start an agency. We were so passionate about these things, right? Digital marketing, all this stuff. We didn't actually know what to do, but we thought that, okay, let's educate people. But after the workshop, the client called us to their office and said that, okay, I need to start something on digital marketing. I am not able to find someone who's qualified for it. Will you be able to do that? He literally asked us. Then me and my brother discussed that, okay, so there is this thing called an agency business in which we help we take over other people, brands, social media, and all the digital marketing activities, and we provide them the solutions, right? We thought that, okay, why not? Let's try it. This is a new challenge, and we were just so excited to work with them because they were actually a big organization in Kerala, and they had enough budget to test around. So we thought it that we were young, passionate, dumb guys back then, and we wanted to test everything all together. And we did a lot of stuff too, crazy stuff. We initially gave, actually we at that time, a mobile phone called Poco F1 was the trend. So this client was actually a retailer of electronics, stuff like that. So they had 0 followers on Instagram. We gave away for Poco F1. We took them from 0 followers to 10,000 followers in 15 days time, right? So a lot of crazy stuff we did. We actually organized a PUBG gaming tournament, in which about 300 people actually came to that location and played, right? All those crazy stuff. So we were really just having fun with that client, and then after that we uh, scaled up.
So then you could say that this experience rather is what kindled your entrepreneurial spirit to carry forward this project, right?
Entrepreneurship was already there. This actually gave us made us believe that, okay, agency business makes sense. Entrepreneurship, we were actually doing it back from our meme page itself. Right? We launched our app and everything. After that, this experience actually uh, got us into human to human business, right? Getting clients. Before that, it was just sharing articles, releasing apps, putting it on YouTube, etc. We didn't need to face any humans. We didn't. All of them was just mass audience. We didn't want to cater to any particular human. But after that, it's all about convincing the clients about doing particular stuff, etc. Right? So that was a new thing.
So when you founded Blue Streak Media during your college days in third year, how did your parents react? Were they supportive, or were they just like focused on your internships, on your placement, on your studies, or how was that like?
They didn't tell me anything like that, um, actually. But my brother had some issues because he was out of college, right? I can do anything while I was in college because nobody really cares, right? I was kind of, I didn't fail for much of the subjects, so it was not a concern. I was not failing, so they had no concerns regarding that. But my brother, who was out of college, was getting the pressure, right? Mostly not from my parents, but from my relatives. My parents were always cool about that. It's But my relatives or grandparents had gave him a really tough time. Said that, this is not what you do, what you should do. This is not business. If you need to do business, you need to have a real shop, or it's better to go and stand as a salesman in some shop than doing these kind of stuff. This has no future. And he especially did his BSc in biotechnology, and that was also really a huge thing, right? They all told that, okay, you are actually going away from your field and stuff like that. Or a lot of things happened to my brother actually, but I actually escaped that because I was in college and I was actually not failing for my subject, so nobody really cared about me.
Talking about Bluestream, did you face any failures or tough times where you had a long dry spell or something like that? And what did you learn from them? What can you advise us to do in such times? And what did you do?
Advice, I can share my experience, right? I'm still about 24 years old, so I could be wrong still, right? So we had pretty long dry runs after starting the agency business, right? Maybe especially talking about 2019 as an entire year, we were only able to get about 3 to 4 clients maximum, and we were barely making it, right? right? We had to pay we had about 45 employees at that time. We had barely paid off them. 45, we tried to pay off them, but barely paid off them on time, and we had almost zero income. Personally, my brother and the co-founder literally had zero income, because we were getting a lot of money and we were just paying it to the salaries, and we were not getting new clients too. No traction, nothing at all. We were seeing no growth at all. Then we some kind of what we did was we just focused on what we have in our hand. We focused on just putting out really good campaigns for the existing clients, even though they were not paying well. um, we focused on we just, there was a huge opportunity to quit at that moment, right? We could have simply said that, okay, we are not getting any income from this, why should we continue? But we continued for that for about 7 to 8 or 9 months, continuously, without maybe getting 2,000 rupees as an income or 5,000 rupees as an income, right? But somehow we said that, okay, let's not let's hold on to it. Something great is going to happen. We are building momentum. Something should happen. We didn't actually think about, we didn't even think about quitting, actually. We even then at that time itself, when we got a bunch of money and a spare money from some extra money, what we did was that we invested in buying new computers for our designers, right? We didn't take it for ourselves. So even if we got some extra money, we would reinvest, right, to buy something to make things better. And somehow that 2019 passed, but from 2020, especially after the COVID thing, we started getting a huge amount of clients, right, inbound clients, via LinkedIn, via search, via YouTube, etc. And we just grew about 400% in 2020. 2021 also we grew about 500%. And so my advice would be to, initially that will be there, dry runs are going to be there. Initial first 2 months, 3 months will be really exciting, because you just started something really new, and you feel that, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, I have a product, I have launched something. You believe that you already have achieved something, so that you're in the high of that in the first 2 months, 3 months time. Then after that, reality strikes. The market is going to punch you in the face, right? Because nobody cares whether you are 18-year-old, 52-year-old, or 36-year-old with a child, or you, whether you are in college or you have no money, nothing. Nobody cares about that. The people care about what you have, or what you can deliver, etc. Right? So um, work on the skills. Work on, if you're doing business, always work on something, right? Build a process for that, work on it, and eventually initially the graph will be linear, and then you will be able to see that slight hockey stick curve that's going to happen. So wait until that hockey stick, that will eventually happen if you are consistent enough. So yeah.
Moving on to the next question. Having spent over $200,000 on ad spending, and after working with brands like Red Cross, Method, CoinSwitch, what do you think is the future of digital marketing, and how will it look like in India and basically everywhere?
Future of digital marketing. There are a lot of things to say in regards to that. Um, First one, it's about becoming a creator. That's what I say to everyone. If you're a brand and if you want to be relevant, you have to be a creator on Instagram. If you are a D2C brand, a B2C brand especially, you have to be a. You don't. 2 years back, you could have just posted something related to your product and got away with that. Right now, you have to be really, really unique. You have to be a creator, right? But Zomato is doing, right? You have to be opinionated, or you have to be really funny, quirky, or you have to be on the edge of something, right? You cannot be very neutral, very friendly, very cooperative kind of stuff. Is not going to work if you want followers, or if you want to make an impact on social media, organic, right? You have to be opinionated. You have to be on the edge of something to get that, to differentiate yourself. That is there. And uh, others could be really technical kind of stuff, right? um, how much are you using data to process your how much importance does data play in your organization? Are you trying to learn AI, how AI is going to help your organization in terms of marketing? Are you actually building communities? That's something else. All right. Does your brand has any kind of community around it? uh, Maybe do you have a Telegram group or a WhatsApp group or a email list in which people actually engage in your community? So community building is something that is going to grow. Creator economy is going to grow. um, and basically you have to have a character and you have to adopt new technologies, right? That's the way to go.
So, in Tier 1 countries like the US, UK, and Canada, small businesses already use digital marketing to generate leads and to increase their reach. How long will it take Indian businesses to catch up on that practice? And what are the problems that they face? And any solutions that you can give to overcome such kind of issues?
I think most of them are self-employed small businesses, right? So basically, they don't have the time or the knowledge, right? They don't know that you can do run an ad for 200 rupees in Facebook and reach 2,000 people. Basically, that's the issue. If you go to a kirana store or a tailor shop or anything like that, if you say that, okay, give me 200 rupees and I'll showcase your offer to 2,000 people, yeah, they'll say that's not going to happen, right? So there is a knowledge gap. Certainly there is a knowledge gap, but there is demand is there. Everyone, but if you look at that kirana guy or that barber or someone, where when he has free time, he'll just pull up his mobile, that will be a smartphone, and he'll log into Facebook and he'll be scrolling Facebook or reels or something like that, for sure. But they are only they don't know that there is a business side for Facebook or Google or anything like that. But what I see is that it's coming up. WhatsApp, a lot of businesses are using WhatsApp to, especially after COVID, right? They are, for example, they are sending, if they are a boutique, they're trying to do social commerce. They have an Instagram page, and people they'll send WhatsApp messages to people who are interested. They'll try to get sales via DM, all these stuff. And there is a concept called Dukan, right? There's an app called Dukan itself, in which they can literally create their own e-commerce store in 5 minutes or 10 minutes time. Right, all these are getting popular. And also after the UPI, right, everybody kind of, all kind of small businesses are have already adopted UPI. That has made things very easy, right, to accept payments, even via WhatsApp, simple payments, and everybody is kind of okay with that. So I think adoption is happening, but still there is a knowledge gap and a time gap. And people do not find time for this, and also people don't know that, still think that doing an advertisement is just for big businesses. Right. When if you ask your kirana store owner to do an ad, they'll say, okay, that's not for me. That's for a huge business to spend on ads. But that's because they don't know that on online medias they can spend as low as 100 rupees, 200 rupees to reach their audience.
So, do you think it's the general lack of awareness among people that is causing this issue of them not using digital marketing as much?
I think the problem is with the economy, because in US, even if you call it a small business, they'll have really good amount of income coming in, right? They'll have at least an income, a profit of 5,000 to 3,000, 4,000 minimum. I would say it will be more than that for a small business owner, as a profit, $5,000, something like that will be considered as a small business. And hence they can hire a freelancer for $500 to focus on digital marketing, not a problem. But when it comes to India, barely they'll have $500 or 30,000 rupees as profit, right? They cannot afford to hire a freelancer for 10,000 rupees, right? That will be 1/3 of their income. And for that's the thing. The economy hasn't grown that much, right? But still, I think it's happening. Even if your business man is only having 30,000 as profit, if he is ambitious enough, he is able to do that. He is able to find freelancers for a very cheap rate, or maybe he's willing to do it himself. I see a lot of people with the same kind of income streams, but having a different kind of ambition. So those people will try to learn all this stuff via YouTube, and try to do at least, try to execute some ads, or try to ask people, constantly try to learn, constantly try to pick people to do it for themselves. So it's also a mentality issue, right? Some people think that, okay, I shouldn't be doing this because I'm a small guy. I only deserve this. This is not meant for me, right? Small thinking.
Okay, moving on. You were nominated as one of LinkedIn's top voices in 2021. So, what all has changed from then? What all has changed in your personal life, in your private life, in your social circles and stuff? What impact does it have on your company as well?
At that point of time, it was really a great thing. I didn't actually know that there was a thing called LinkedIn Top Voice. I came to know that when actually LinkedIn pinged me up and said that, okay, there is this thing called this thing. So when I researched it, I saw that it is a huge thing, right? So when I got shortlisted, everyone was happy. I was also happy, and when I got selected, also I was really happy. And I got published in major newspapers in Kerala also. So my relatives was also just calling me up, and a lot of stuff happened. uh, and that died out. So nobody cares about that anymore. And for me, I have a title like that, so I can use it anywhere, right? I Till I die, I can use it, right? I can introduce myself, and if someone asks me some of my achievements, I can surely say that. So I always have a feather, uh, like that. And for my company, I've been able to land my biggest client after getting this achievement, because he read about me in some newspaper and he connected with me, and they are currently one of our biggest clients. So all the aspects of like business, personal and social, all has impacted positively, right? Now people actually pay attention to whatever I'm saying. That's a huge difference.
Okay, so yeah, moving on. IAMC, how has that experience been? How is your time over there, and what do you feel about it?
Absolutely. I did a course on AI based marketing in IAM Calcutta. Even though technically I couldn't after it was a 6 month course. After that, I couldn't actually implement much of the things that was taught there because of time limits and my business. Still, I would say that it was really beneficial for me, because I was learning from the best minds of India, right? The professors who are teaching in IAMC are really great, and the way that they were explaining things, the way that they take on challenges, they see the world, all those things actually inspired me and gave me a lot of confidence. Say that, okay, these brilliant minds are thinking like this, and I'm seeing that. I could see that. I could see how they're teaching, how their perspective is, how they explain things, uh, a lot of stuff, right? So it gave me a huge amount of confidence that I've been in that batch, and I've been in the receiving end of things. So I can actually also, in terms of project management and all of those stuff, I've been able to get that kind of communication style from them. So that's the biggest takeaway that I'll say. And I'm trying to get back to the kind of technical kind of stuff. I'm trying to read to keep in touch with whatever that's being taught, but that's secondary. But the primary thing is that I have been able to be in that batch for 6 months time, to get that much of exposure. It's kind of like really good.
So, you think it's extremely essential for aspiring entrepreneurs to compulsorily attend a business school because it's just that necessary, or do you think it's fine? It doesn't matter as much.
You don't need to get into an business school or anything like that. For me, it happened because the topic was relevant for my business. That's why I signed up. It was about AI in marketing. So it was really, really relevant for me. I had to just, it was like, if I don't do these kind of courses, I would be irrelevant in my field, right? That's the only reason why I signed up. It's not because I'm a founder and I have to be in a premium business school or something like that. I signed up because the topic was really interesting, and obviously, IIM Calcutta was a really what glamorous thing too. I
Yeah,
wanted to try it
yes.
out too, and it also helps if you're working in business. I wouldn't say that it won't help anyway, but if you have, if you on your LinkedIn, if you have that IMC tag, people will respect you more, right?
That's true.
But it depends, like there's a cost for that. You need to spend X amount of money. So if that money is not much for you and you can make it to that batch, and if you have time, go for it. But yeah, it depends. For me, it helps out a lot because I'm doing a lot of sales, and I'm running a business, and IMC tag gives me a lot of credibility.
Okay, so that was the last of the formal questions, and now we have a few rapid fire questions lined up. So, yeah, quick responses. Yeah, okay, funding or bootstrap?
I have been funded yet, so I can only say bootstrap.
Okay. Family or business?
Um, till you're married, maybe business a bit more.
Okay. Angel or venture?
When you're starting, maybe a good angel, trustable angel.
Fame or money?
Fame without money is the worst thing that you can have. So, um, become famous in your niche. If you're doing business or marketing, become famous in that particular niche and have a lot of money. That will be really cool.
Small team or a large team?
I'd prefer small team, but as an agency, we cannot limit ourselves to small team because it's really, really resource intensive, right? We have to scale up. We have to add literally add humans to the team to scale up, not like a product. In a product, for a product, you can scale it up without humans.
Freshers or an experienced person?
Experienced people sometimes come with a baggage. They won't change, but right now I'll go for experienced, because freshers are ambitious but need a lot of micromanagement. So in my stage, I would prefer experienced people, but when I was starting up, I used to prefer freshers because I had the time to give them focus. Right now I don't have the time to give them focus. So
Dancing or weightlifting?
weightlifting.
Okay.
Dancing when I'm drunk.
Yeah, that makes sense. Freemium or paid?
Premium.
Online shopping or shopping at a store?
Shopping in a store.
Okay.
Any books or podcasts that you would like to recommend to our listeners now?
A lot of them. When it comes to book, I'd say my favorite books are Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. Really interesting. Started. That actually pushed me to entrepreneurship. Maybe 7 years before. Then How to Influence People and Make Friends. That's a huge. I would say everyone needs to read that, especially if you're in college. Then Atomic Habits. That's something that really helped me to build a lot of habits. Then Seven Habits of Highly Successful People uh, really helped me a lot. um, yeah, those are some. And coming to technical books, Why We Sleep, there's a book called Why We Sleep that actually told me the importance of sleep, so I would never skip my sleep. um, yeah, those are some books that I want to share. And also right now I'm reading a book called um, Never Split the Difference. It's about negotiation. It's really brilliant. It will become, surely will become my one of my best reads. I'd say that everyone, irrespective of whether you're doing business or not, should read that book. Podcast, I don't listen to podcasts much. I listen to Joe Rogan on YouTube. Then I listen to a very particular podcast called Dave Pipeline. It's called Pipeline, but it's very particular to a B2B marketers, so it wouldn't make sense for most of you guys. So it is very technical for B2B marketers. Um, these are the podcasts that I listen to, and but most probably I'll every day I read. Right, every day I don't listen to podcast. So books are better for me.
Okay.
If I gave you a time machine and said that you could change one thing in the past, what would that be? What would you?
I was not a confident guy. I always used to think what would others think. I always thought that I didn't matter, and I also thought that human to human connection didn't matter much. I thought that okay, why this is a technology era, you don't need to have a human to human networking stuff like that. I was wrong. I would say that I would push myself to connect with more people early on, and I would give myself a huge amount of confidence because what's the worst that that's going to happen, right? I'm kind of healthy. I have a roof on top of my head. I was able to go to my college. There are a lot of people who don't even have any of these things, right? So I'm already very lucky. So what's the worst thing that is going to happen? So experiment more. Don't be a negligent, stuff like that.
Any advice for a 20-year-old student or a younger Jason, perhaps?
A 20-year-old Jason, I'd say, no, be more confident. Speak out yourself. Take your own decisions. Don't get influenced by anyone else, etc. But for students, in my experience, that's not an advice. What I'd say is that what has taught me a lot is that you try to earn something while you're in college. Try to earn just that. Yeah, try to earn 1,000 rupees per month. That's it. You will learn a lot of things. You learn how to negotiate. You learn how humans work. You learn how to manage your time. You learn what skills are needed right now. You learn how to hire people. All these things.
So yeah, with that last question, we're going to be wrapping up today's episode of building blocks of business. Thank you, Jason. Thanks a lot for taking out your time to speak with us today on your entrepreneurial path. And we wish you the very best in your future endeavors. By sharing your journey with our listeners, I'm pretty sure that you have inspired many who listen to this podcast. Uh, to the listeners, thanks a lot for patiently listening to this podcast. I hope you all took something away, something valuable from today's episodes of Building Blocks of Business. Until next time, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.